Okay, I see the sign that it's okay. I see people joining in. We just started the live. So should we give a few more minutes until we have more attendees?
Yeah, sure. I think we can give 5 more minutes. So hi, everyone. Let's wait for 5 more minutes so more people can join this. Like we can start at the same time. So the new joiners will not miss the information.
Well, while waiting, like feel free to leave your introduction message in the chat, where you're tuning in from, what you're expecting from this webinar, as well as during the session, feel free to leave questions in the chat. So we're gonna, or Q&A section. We're gonna deal with it when we reach to the last final session. Okay, so I see Yan, Jin Hota, Lulu, Nikolai, Raphael, Vanessa joining. Hi, everyone. Really excited. By the side talk, by the way, like Nadia, how long have you been in China so far?
I first came here in 2017, so that was what, 6 years ago, a really long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I did my master's here, and then I got a job 2 years after, like right before my graduation time. So I've been here ever since. But then it got cut off during COVID and stuff. But yeah,
I understand.
It's really nice. Yeah.
I think that's exactly the same path that foreign students like go along, like after the masters, and then they get a job, and then the COVID hits, and like that. I also started my master's in 2017, exactly when you started.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really expected that COVID will hit, right? Because I still remember the first time I heard the news, I thought it's just a common flu, but
me too.
Things change.
Like my friend was telling, like, shouldn't you be careful? Like I heard that there's some flu going around, and I said, oh, Wuhan is a bit far away from where I am, so don't worry about it. Like,
true. Yeah, true. I'm like, I'm in Beijing. What could happen?
Exactly, right? And then when the COVID second round happened, I was in Shanghai. You would have been in Beijing, and then the Beijing and Shanghai was the two cities that really got a hit,
Yeah.
Shanghai had entire city locked down.
Yeah, exactly. I managed to come back during COVID time, and I had to do all this quarantine and everything. So it's crazy timing, but I mean it's good that everything is going back to normal in the end.
Yeah. And then even the flight ticket went back to normal. So I actually recently came back from visiting home. Wow, it was so, like, I felt awkward. Like, really? I don't have to wear mask in the airport?
Yeah. True. Yeah, it happens to my recent flight to come back to China as well. Like when I first come here, and I was like seeing people not wearing masks anymore, and it's like, really, is this really happening?
They don't care. They don't check anything, like whether you did a COVID test or not. So wow, this is a freedom that I've been experiencing for a while.
Exactly. Okay, so I think we can start now.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Whoever can catch up. This is a live on YouTube, right? So okay, go ahead.
This is live in YouTube. So yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're at. And this is Nadia from Wechat Missions, and I'm here with Dasol Kim. And it's a lovely day here in Beijing. The weather is very nice, so I hope everybody's ready for our event. So today we're having Dasol Kim, our lovely guest speaker. She is currently located in Haining, China, and she will talk about how to find a job and build a successful career in China. So we hope all the international talents who are joining this event will get the insights you need and also practical advice to help you build your career and get your dream jobs in China. So before I hand over the event to Dasol, where she can share the insights and all the information that you are waiting for. I'd like to introduce her a little bit to all of you. So Dasol Kim is the founder and CEO of Hey Hi Coaching and Consulting, and she's also a career transition specialist and a career coach at Zhejiang University International Business School. So she has an extensive experiences in recruitment and coaching, and she got her master's degree from Zhejiang University. And also she's multilingual, so she speaks Korean, English, and also Chinese. So I'm sure all of you are excited to hear more from Dasol about tips and tricks on how you can find a job and also build your career in China. So let's give the floor to Dasol to share her insights about career in China.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, joining for this webinar. I'm really honored to share my experience as well as some tips and tactics to get your career development on foot in China. So before we start, let me briefly introduce what today's session will be about. So I believe that there's always a framework existing in whatever you're doing. It takes time and it's a procedure. So whoever I coach students, I coached many retired people who's finding for their second new life career, but no matter who I talk to, I always start with branding and storytelling even before the self discovery session. So by branding and story, which will help us to get to know who we are and then powerfully present ourselves to the recruiters or HR. And the second step that we're going to discuss about is how to do the networking, the tone and manners of the messaging, and how to create opportunity out of those networkings. And the final thing will be the most interesting thing for all of you. So please stay tuned until the end. We'll talk about how to do job search in and outside of China for the career opportunities in China. And lastly, we're going to have a Q&A session where you can ask any kind of questions to me. But meanwhile, feel free to leave any questions in the chat box or the Q&A box you can find in the tab above the Zoom. So before, let me share you this opportunity to you. This is my gratitude sharing and my offering sharing to all the attendees here. I would love to offer one-on-one free online coaching session to everyone who connects me in the LinkedIn and then share their review about this webinar. So after joining this webinar, please connect me in the LinkedIn, find me in the LinkedIn. You can find a QR code or my link here, and then just type a simple review. What was your biggest insight and what is the takeaway, and why would you recommend me? And then I'll invite you to the free one-on-one career strategy session. And don't worry if you don't have any access to LinkedIn, because here's my WeChat QR code. You can also send me personal message about what was your biggest insight, and I'll invite you to the coaching session. So are you ready to start? So if you're ready to start, you should first know this annotate function. So you'll find the Zoom tab up above or below of your screen, and then there is an annotate function. I don't know whether you can find here in the webinar. Oh, maybe this is a meeting function, not the webinar. No worries. So this is a webinar. It's okay. You can leave in the chat about the following question. Where are you tuning in from? So I'm really curious, where are all of you? We have right now quite a number of candidates, participants here for this webinar. I'm curious, are you in China? Are you tuning in from outside of China? If outside of China, where are you tuning in from? Please let me know in the chat. Let me see. Seattle, USA. Oh my gosh, what is the time there? California, USA. The time zone would be totally different. Kenya, Africa, tuning in from Tobago, Caribbean island. Oh, wow. Trinidad. Oh, great. Beijing, China. 1 a.m. Wow, you guys are on fire, staying up until 1 a.m. to join this webinar. I'm really honored. Chongqing, China, Formant, USA. Wow, quite a lot of candidates from outside of China. I'm really glad because today the strategy and tactics I'm sharing both applies. I prepare like 2 different tactics and strategy for people who's looking for a job opportunity inside of China and outside of China. Pakistan, India, Love it, love it. Thank you so much for answering India. Yeah, really excited. Okay, so let me tell you about my story before we get in our foot into the game. So I'm Korean, as you could figure out from KIM, the surname Kim, very common, popular surname in Korea. I'm Korean, and I first came in China for 2013, and that time I was literally fall in love with China, right? And ever since then, I've worked in 4 different job positions at 4 different companies from 4 different industries. So this is a journey how I became to be a career coach and a career transition specialist who helps the people to find clarity and courage to navigate throughout their career development. So let me tell you about my career story. So ever since I fell in love with China, when I came to visit Peking University as an exchange student, I always wanted to come back. So I went back to Korea, I graduated my undergrad, and I immediately applied to tons of companies in China. I even applied for a part-time jobs in some libraries or some, like after school institutions so that I can get any kind of job opportunity so that I can be back in China. And somebody told me that to get a job in China, you need at least 2 years of working experience. That will give me a higher chance and to get a work permit, so officially work there. So I was like, all right, then let me first find a job in Korea. So I try my best to find a job that is something related to China and something that somewhere I can improve my Chinese. And that's where I found my sales position, my first full-time job. So I was working at sales, targeting Chinese market, and my Chinese really improved dramatically. And after 2 years, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to start again. So I started applying for hundreds and hundreds of companies. At least I can tell you like 300 applications only in China. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? Nothing. I get back from nowhere. I was really, really frustrated. Wait a minute, what's going on? I love China. Now I can speak Chinese and I have 2 years of work experience. I have my bachelor's degree. What's wrong? And I realized like, wait a minute, let me first get my foot underground. I need to be in China first. I need to connect with the people. I need to network with people there. So that's when I started to change my perspective to all different options, including doing my master's degree. And luckily, after several trial, I got my full-time master's degree scholarship, full scholarship to study master's. And also even they pay me the living cost, a few amount of living cost. So I was like, why not? So I quit my job in Korea and then fly to China. That was my beginning of the career. And ever since then, I explored I explored as a marketing manager, and even I attempted to be, I was trying to, get out of this working in a business school because my first career in China was at a business school. So let me try something else. I want to break the rule that if you work in a university, higher education, you'll never get out of a higher education. So I applied for many different industries, for many different job positions, and I finally get to work at McKinsey as an HR recruiter. And here's one interesting story. While I was working as a recruiter in McKinsey, I was interviewing 4 times to get a job there. And then my direct manager at that time was an interviewer. She was interviewing me. Why did you apply for a job? Because you don't have any HR background. Why did you apply for this HR recruiting position? And so confidently, I was telling her, I'm this kind of person. And according to the job description that you guys uploaded, it's perfectly me. I have these experiences and these are my core strengths. And my core value really aligns to the McKinsey. And she was like, makes sense, So I got into the McKinsey, and then first day when I entered in the office, I was like so nervous. And I went to my direct manager, why did you hire me? Why did you hire me without any HR background? And at that position, I was hiring the Chinese consultants. So none of Korean is needed. I'm not a native Chinese speaker. I'm not a native English speaker. And in the office, I was the only foreigner in the HR office. And she said she hired because of who I am. And that's what I got this insight, that finding a job is nothing related to actually what I did, but it's more related to who I am. So the reason I'm telling you is that I want to tell you this first before I go back. The career is not a job position. That's all the insight that I got from all of my career development journey, working in 4 different companies, in 4 different positions, in 4 different industries. Career is a job is what you do right now, but career is who you're becoming. So as long as you have a clear idea on what your core value, where your core value lies, and what your core strengths are, you can literally pursue any kind of job you want that aligns with your core values and core strengths. So that's when I began to have this passion of coaching and helping people like foreigners like me in China to find their career opportunities in here. I hear every year that every year the career job market is bad. Every year there are better candidates than you. Every year I think I'm not enough yet. But before you think about that, I want to first help students or students like you or wherever you are. I want you to get clear about what the career journey that you would like to pursue. So after working at McKinsey, I realized it's about time for me to really go full on my passion. And that's when I registered my coaching and consulting company in China in the city called Haining. And I've been helping the students like you yourself. And these are the testimonials from them. It's not only about, hey, thank you, Dasol, I got this job because of you. It's not about that. Most of the testimonials are, hey, Dasol, thank you for getting me clear, giving me more courage to pursue the career journey, long-term career journey, to pursue the career journey that I wanted to pursue instead of what other people want me to pursue. So this is the main philosophy that I want to really deep dive into before I share you any kind of tools or techniques, because tools or techniques are just there. You know, you can even find any more information there, but this core value where why I'm delivering, what I'm delivering, I want you to really take a deep consideration of it. And don't forget that we're here not to try to get you a job position. We're here to really discover what kind of career path you would like to go on. So let me tell you first about the branding and storytelling. So this is the personal brand that I personally think that has 3 different elements, 3 different key elements. As you may figure that the keywords that I've been continuously repeating is a core value and core strength and delivery. The middle point itself is a personal brand that I believe, because personal brand is first, you need to get clear about who you are, right? To get clear about who you are, we need to know what is our value system? What do we value most in our life, in our career development? What do we value? Do we value safety? Do we value growth, learning? Do we value finance, money? What do we value? Do we value relationships? You need to really get clear and defined value so that you can powerfully deliver that value to other people, because personal brand is everything about you. And this core value is a big part of you yourself. It's not like every day you change your core value. No, this core value should be what you have been running towards it, and then what you are running towards it. And the next thing is about the core strength. Core strength, this is like a toolkit, you can say. The core strength, this can be developed over the period of time because you learn, you grow, and you get insights. You gain more toolkits that you can use. But it won't matter if you have hundreds of toolkits. but you don't know what kind of tokens you exactly have, then it's no use. You really need to first know what is your core strength, what really differentiates you, what really tells who you are. That is a core strength that you really need to get clear about. Some people don't even know what they're good at it because they're so good at it for a long time that it becomes so zone of genius. It became their zone of genius that when they do something, they don't even think. So they don't even think when they're doing, so they don't even think that's their core strength. So in that case, you also need to get feedback from other people. And then if you discovered core value and core strength, is that enough to be a personal brand? No, because if you fail to deliver powerfully enough, if you fail to deliver to have a great influence on other people, then it's no brand. It's just you, yourself. You need to speak, you need to talk, you need to deliver powerfully, present powerfully. And that's where influential personal brand comes from. So all these three key things are very core parts of establishing one person's personal brand. So here's a quick exercise that we can do together to how can I find my core value, core strength, and delivery all together. This one exercise will help you to figure out everything all together so that you can find that one dot, your personal brand. So here's my question. Tell me about your greatest achievements. Like close your eyes and really imagine like the moment you really felt proud of yourself. When was it? Do you still feel that, Do you still feel that excitement? Like, yes, I did it, Or that feeling of being proud of yourself, that you felt so good about hearing other people's compliment. When was it? What was the greatest achievements? If you have that one example story, right? One experience, then using that one experience, one story, answer these 10 questions. So what was the achievement? So write down every details about that achievement. So why did you do it? For example, my greatest achievement, let's say it's quite a lot. But let me give an example. My greatest achievement is maybe establishing a company, registering a company as a foreigner here in China. What was achievement? Finally getting establish a company and then getting a work permit out of my own company. So I issued my own work permit. That was the biggest achievement. I was like, finally, because I got rejected like how many times? 17 times on my visa. So it was a great achievement. Why did I do it? Because I had a strong dream and passion that I really wanted to do this business, coaching and consulting business in China. And that was my strong goal. So that's why I did it, to achieve my dream. What did I do exactly? Well, I did a research. I asked a lot of people who actually did it, and I collected the information. I tried a lot. I went to the system, I learned, and every single step I learned and I tried again. I learned and I tried again. What were the challenges? Language barriers, cultural differences, preparing materials that is needed, documenting the journey, or sometimes talking to difficult people. How did you overcome it? Keeping my eyes in the North Star. Why did I did it? On why? Keeping my eyes and never get distracted. What kind of skills did I use? I used a lot of communication skills, especially multinational communication skills, language skills, research skills, and also being resourceful by knowing who I need to talk to. What kind of mindset? Never give up. Continue to try until you get successful, because you'll get successful if you don't give up, right? And what did you enjoy the most? When I finally got that approval from the administration side that I got a work permit. And what I feel very proud of myself. It was my one new procedure that I ever took So I feel proud of it. What are the key takeaways? Never give up. Yeah, so you write all these stories based on all these details about one incident, answering these questions. And what you're going to do is that this is the one story that I just told you. You'll make 10 story out of it. I don't know how many years you have lived so far, but I bet that you have more than one achievement. It can be small, it can be big. It doesn't have to be something fancy. It can be something like, I achieved my dream weight goal, you know, or my dream that I achieve my dream, let's say dreaming fashion style or my hairstyle. It can be a small, but write it down, every single thing. And what you're going to do is if you have 10 different kind of stories listed out, which is answering these 10 different questions, you'll find common keywords about your core value. You also find a common keywords about the core strengths. And you'll find the common keywords about how you express those stories. So these keywords, just find these keywords, and these keywords will be the basic fundamental for your storytelling. And this storytelling will be formatted into, there are many different ways, tools to use as a storytelling, but I basically use the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, results. This is a fundamental storytelling skills, especially used during the job interviews. So you tell about the situation and you describe what kind of task you delivered, and you describe the details about what kind of actions you take and what was the result outcome, positive outcome. So, but if you collect these data together, this is a storytelling format that you can tell. So once you have your own storytelling or your own story that is formatted in the STAR method, you can use it in the resume, you can use it in the job interview, you can use it to brand yourself in the LinkedIn platform or even other job searching platforms where you're using your self-introduction, 1 minute self-introduction or something. You can even use this skill when you're doing a presentation or presenting your projects or presenting your portfolios in front of the employers. So this is actually only this part is entire 2 hours of workshop. So I know it's a lot to take, but this is a framework that you can also take a look again and then see what kind of stories you can think of. Yeah. So during the time-wise, let's move on to the networking and finding opportunities, creating opportunities. Feel free to leave any questions in the middle because we're gonna answer all the questions at the end of the Q&A session and when we reach to the Q&A session. So in terms of the networking, I still really recommend LinkedIn. I know the LinkedIn is not accessible in China, but as there are attendees who's looking at this from outside of China, I still recommend you to connect and build up your network and then build up your personal brand within the LinkedIn. Why? We have 922 million users in the LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is proven to be the #1 social media that is recognized as very trustable, professional. So it's not like a random social media where to just chit chat there, but LinkedIn is where you intentionally get on, create your account so that you can create network with professionals wherever in the world. So for the networking, LinkedIn is still, even within China, actually, there are many ways that you can still utilize LinkedIn because you can still find the Chinese recruiters in the LinkedIn, connect them, find their contacts from there. And LinkedIn is good for personal branding because it has your own profile where you can list out all your core values, core strengths, your self-introduction, work experiences, and so on. And definitely company job search, nothing to say about it. Of course, it's a platform where you can find jobs wherever in the world, and also get the industry insights. Like if there's any company that I'm interested in, what are their trends look like, what are they working on towards it, what kind of job positions are they looking into, what kind of new projects they're working on. So as I show you, is if you search expat recruiter and filter the location to China, you can even see there is 30,000 Chinese expat recruiter located in LinkedIn. And there are many, so these are the platforms. Maybe these days, because in China it's blocked, so they're not often logging into LinkedIn, but you can still, connect with them, send them a message, or even some Chinese recruiters, they put their WeChat number in their profile, so you can go into their profile and see if they have any WeChat numbers and connect with them via WeChat. So connecting with the right person, finding a right person is always a first step in the networking, because you can network with tons of people, but if they're no use for you, for example, you network without any purpose, then it's just a waste of time. You're wasting a heck of your time if you don't have any purpose when you're networking with somebody. So you really need to have a clear idea why you're doing, like who you want to talk to, and then what kind of opportunities you're looking for. Are you looking for mentors? There's the search, how you search totally differentiates when you're looking for mentors, or when you're looking for industrial leaders, when you're looking for thought leaders, or when you're looking for a recruiter or HR who is in the field where I would love to get my foot on for my career development. So let's say if I'm really interested in a finance industry, then use the keyword to search recruiter in finance, right? And you need to apply the right filters. So in this screenshot, I only filtered out the China location, but in terms of get specific, if you get specific as possible, if it is too specific, there won't be a lot of data. But if you get good enough specifics, for example, China, and then another factor is if you go to the all filters, you can filter it out regarding the topics they talk about. What do you want them? What kind of recruiters do you want to outreach to? Recruiters in finance or recruiters in tech? Then you need to search in a filter out the recruiters who's talking about finance, right? So you can search here, recruiter finance, and even all filter, click the all filter, and there's a talks about filter. So when it talks about, there is this mark, and then you can type into some, they talk about finance, or you can even say they talk about fintech or finance, or what kind of finance, you can filter it out as narrow. And if you see the button here, there's a follow button and connect button. A lot of people just here, get the people's list and just click, 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 click. But I'm telling you, don't just click, click, click. If you're really interested in this person, then you click into it, review their profile, exactly see what kind of work experience they have been went through, and then connect with them, not just follow. Because if you just follow, then whatever they post, it will come up in your feed, but it doesn't mean that you guys are first connected. You guys will be still second connected, which means you're unable to send them a message. In LinkedIn, you can only send a message to the first connected people. So don't just follow. If there's a follow button, you gotta click into the profile and then find the connect button to connect, to be a first connect. And you can't just connect without any message. There is definitely clearly in a tone and manner that you need to send out your message. First, it should be simple, and it should have a call to action. What do you want from them? Why did you connect with them, and what do you want from them? But additionally, to keep the tone and manner, you really need to first recognize their status. Don't just tell them, oh, because your title is recruiter, I'm reaching out to you. No, do some research about the other person and then see how many years of working recruiters experience, or what kind of achievement did they have? Did they post something new recently? And then recognize their status. Here's an example. Hi, Corey. Thanks for accepting the request. I came across your profile on LinkedIn and was really impressed by your experience in recruiting. Yeah, this is a simple message that you can make the other person feel very good, make them feel good so that they won't hesitate to help you. And then there's a reason why you're reaching out. I wanted to connect with you to let you know that I'm currently exploring new career opportunities in the industrial manufacturing field and would like to invite you to an online coffee chat sometime next week. It's not about you as a recruiter working at McKinsey, I received a lot of messages that is like, here's my CV, review my CV. Let me know if there's any good job positions there's opening in your company. Then I wouldn't even reply to those messages. But first, politely, just tell them, I'm really curious and I would love to learn from you. Can we get on a coffee chat? This can be a great tone and manner to not to be too aggressive, that I'm here to take whatever you can offer to me, right? So this has a higher possibility for you to get reply from the other person, even though you guys never met in person. And okay, let's say the other person accepted the request. Then the important thing is you got to ask the right questions, right? Okay, we got on a coffee chat, but you don't even know what to ask. So you're just mumbling. And I'm sorry, your experience was really impressive and I wanted to get a job in your firm, right? You really got to ask the right question to get the right answers that you need. So for example, for the recruiters, you can ask the recruiters to, hey, hire me, but you can get some information that can give you a higher chance to get into that position, right? For example, what kind of qualities or experiences do you require? What is a typical day-to-day job in this position? For example, let's say I'm really interested in a marketing position. What's a day-to-day job as a marketer in your firm? And can you tell me more about the hiring procedure and what kind of candidate are you looking for? And are there any upcoming events that you guys are hosting that I can connect with any of the current employees or HR managers? Yeah, these questions, right question gives the right answers that you need. Plus, it puts you into a really a great impression. It makes you a really good impression. Let me tell you my own personal experience. Well, this has nothing to do with coffee chat, but it's about the messaging, how powerful the messaging is. I was during my undergrad years, I was applying for the internships when I was studying my bachelor's degree. And I applied, I got into the job interview for one internship position. And then after 3 times of the interview procedure, I end up getting declined. The hiring manager sent me an email that I'm sorry, but you're not hired. Well, thank you for your time, and then look forward to see you for another chance. And then usually when you receive the emails that is like we're not going to hire you, you're failed, then you just like, oh, like another rejection email, you just ignore it, right? But what I did at that time was I replied to that email with the sincere gratitude message that I understand. Thank you so much for giving this chance of being an interview. And then like, I hope you really have a successful, successful training successfully with the other interns. And then I look forward to meet you again in another chance, I replied. And after 1 week later, that HR manager called me and said, hey, there is one student who got another internship opportunity, so declined our offer, and we would like to give you this spot. And I got that internship. So this is how powerful the tone and manner messaging is about. And then asking the right questions, and then also how you approach to the HR hiring managers. And last but not least, let me check. We still have time. So last but not least, we're going to talk about the job search and information sourcing. So I know this entire series that I'm talking about, these 3 steps, is it's almost like 3 hours of workshops that I always deliver. So I know the speed is a bit fast, and it can be something jump off some of the information. So feel free to leave your questions, and I will be happy to answer your questions when we reach to the Q&A session. So let's talk more about this hiring situation in China. So this is recent data from Hire China, data from September 2023. I myself interviewed several recruiters currently in China to get to know about what is actually going on. Because I hear, even though every year I coach many different people, and every year they say, oh, this year's job market is bad. But I know the job market is bad every year. But I was wondering, is the job market in China is really went bad ever since the COVID, due to the COVID impact? So I interviewed several recruiters in China with their perspective, to get to understand their perspective. And actually, ever since the China opened up its border, and then now it's a post-COVID period time, the demand for the foreign talents actually increased. More Chinese firms really are looking for new talents, especially who are already in China, as well as who have some ties in China, who has some networks in China, who already have an experience in China, because many of the foreign expats left during the COVID. Yeah, so this is a statistics that came out that they are hiring not only like those US people who has an English is their first language, right? They're hiring actually from many diverse backgrounds, people from different countries. Like United States, definitely 16%, but you see the United Kingdom, UK, Germany, Indonesia, you see the Mexico, Russia, South Africa, Turkey, Pakistan, Kenya, like you see 4%, 3%, 6%. It's all similarly, they are equally hiring candidates, new talents from different countries, which means now actually the US market is really mature, and even within China, many different companies are heading towards different markets, that emerging markets like Southeast Asia or Dubai, like that kind of regions. So they are looking for the local talents who has an understanding about the local markets. So what kind of industries this is basically the hiring trends in China. So the industries that are looking for foreign talents are e-commerce, digital marketing, import and export, international schools, high-tech manufacturing, new energy and robotics. And for the job positions itself are some social media marketing, definitely, because what is the biggest difference is like China has another world like disconnected from the other world, that the outside of China, they are using totally different platforms for their social media marketing. So, and also copywriter who can write in their own language, like own first language, and international sales, branding and marketing, like especially the globalization of many Chinese companies, and also like teachers all the time, teachers for the international schools. And in terms of cities, definitely the first tier cities are hiring more, because it makes sense. More people are, more companies are located there. So Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing. Shenzhen and Shanghai were the top, and Beijing as well. Guangzhou, Hangzhou, Ningbo, Chengdu, like these top tier, but almost top tier cities, like top 1 tier and first tier and second tier cities are hiring a lot of foreign trends. And definitely the requirements, many of the hiring companies who's hiring the talents, their biggest headache is issuing them a work permit. So you gotta at least meet the visa requirements, such as bachelor's degree or above, and then plus minimum 2 years of work experience. So these are the job search platforms that we're not going to dig into every single platforms because like we have a limited time. But today I divide into like two different platforms. One is LinkedIn and Hire China, which can be accessed from outside of China. And these apps, based on my knowledge, actually, they weren't accessible outside of China. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these are the apps that is frequently used inside of China when you're looking for open job positions. So today I'm gonna just take some few examples from Hire China and then using the Liepin app, which I personally use a lot. Oh, and then the LinkedIn. So step first is search. How to search a jobs, right? So here's the many questions that I get a lot often. I've been like, for example, a lot of people come here. I've been doing my internships and my full-time jobs. Every jobs that I have an experience are the sales positions. So I can only get the sales position. No, at the first, when we just started, I introduced myself. I worked in 4 different job positions at 4 different companies from 4 different industries. I got into a McKinsey HR recruiter without having any HR background. Why? Because I was clear about my core strengths. So you don't search based on a job position like sales representative or marketer, or you just don't search based on the job position, because here you're not looking for a job position. As I said, career is who you are becoming and developing your core strengths. So what kind of core strengths do you have and do you want to develop? Let's say, for example, if you're really good at market research and then you want to develop this further into like global market research, then you use market research as a keyword. So see, market research in English. This is a LinkedIn platform, and the right side one is a Liepin app. So 市场调查, I use this Chinese keyword, which is basically the market research keyword. I use these keywords to search and see how many different kind of job positions comes up that requires market research as a core strength. Business development assistant, brand consultant, research analysis, and learning and performance manager. Even here, like many different job positions that requires market research, not only the job position that you already experienced. So use the core strength that we discovered at the beginning as a keywords when you're looking for a job. And second, definitely the location is important. You set up as a China. And another important thing is you got to check when this job postings has been posted, because I don't know, like usually I only take a look at the job positions that is posted at least a month ago. More than that, longer than that, actually, I don't know, there is a reason why there's the job posting is still there. Either they yet hire the people, not a lot of people apply for it because it's not attractive enough, or just simply the company already hired but didn't pull it down. So check the date posted when the job posting has been posted, and also check the experience level. You can sort it out. Liepin, there is a way where you can set up your profile, your experience level, because there are many, like you don't want to waste your time in a job positions that requires at least like 5 years or more of working experience when you just started the work, right? And language requirements. So especially this comes along when you are using the Chinese platforms, because Chinese platforms, their target audience is not foreigners. Their target audience is, I can say, like 90% Chinese people. So as you can see, all the job descriptions are in Chinese, but still you can find some of the job, if you keep reading the job descriptions, if you can translate in however, or if you can read Chinese, there are some companies, even in Chinese app, that doesn't require Chinese to be your first language. There are many cases that are looking for English to be a first language or Spanish to be the first language. So here's an example. You see, this is from the Liepin app, and then 其他信息英语要求 means language requirement, and 英语语言要求is a language requirement, and 英语 is English. So it only requires English. It doesn't have a Chinese. Most of the job description has a Chinese and English. And when you're checking the qualification from job descriptions, when you see this kind of minimum of 6 months to 2 years experience, there, wow, like it's really giving a lot of what do you call, like space. Like it's very flexible. They're not only looking for seniors. See the next job description, junior marketing BD candidates without prior law firm experience are welcome to apply. This kind of let's say not too much strict restrictions on the requirements have a more open chance for the junior or below who's just starting their working experience. Because assuming that most of the people, most of the audience for this webinar are students, I'm not sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, so if you see these requirements, definitely welcome to apply, but don't apply when they obviously say we require more than 10 years of experience in certain area, right? And if you check these requirements, let's say there is 10 requirements and you can check off 7, then there's a high chance that you can be a top applicant. So you should apply for it. And also when you read for the job descriptions, see how many soft skills are listed out and how many hard skills. So if there are more soft skills, it means like they're not specifically looking for some technical like some person who has the hard skills. So it really depends on how you brand yourself in storytelling. If the companies require more soft skills than the hard skills, that means that you have a higher chance if you can really pitch yourself and pitch your core strengths. So you see, like most of their requirements is personal communication skills, which is soft skills, and high attention, consistent positive attitude, but the can-do mentality. Like, yeah, this is a really positive signs that they're open for diverse, different kind of candidates. And if you see like this job postings from the LinkedIn or Liapin app, you can definitely click this 聊一下, or there are many cases that you can connect with the LinkedIn profile of the recruiter who posted this job postings. So definitely connect with the recruiters if you're really interested in this search job postings. Then the final but the most important thing is apply, right? So I'm always like telling everyone who is really seeking for a job opportunities, it's a numbers game. So it should be really a hard effort, right? As a recruiter for me, when I was working as a recruiter or prior, I was also working as a headhunter, I literally review hundreds of CVs every single day, hundreds of CVs. So sometimes sometimes in the morning, I'm like so tired, right? I just started the work. Sometimes I just review like mindlessly. And sometimes when you
Hi everyone, I think we lost Dasol's connection here, so let's wait for a few minutes until she's back. But yeah, I mean, in the meantime, maybe you can do the exercise that Dasol was sharing, that is analyzing your achievements and how you can find your core
Hello.
strengths. Hi, Dasol.
I'm sorry, I think my internet got cut off.
No problem.
Yeah, let me share back my screen. Okay, so we were we stopped here, right?
Yeah.
So this is the last page actually. So when you're so what I wanted to say is that it's really about the numbers game. Apply as much as possible. For me, when I was looking for a job, literally every single day, like applying for a job was kind of my hobby, you know. I'd apply like at least like 50 jobs every day, I think. So numbers game, but keep your resume updated. Don't just mindlessly apply, but customize your cover letter. And please, please, please read carefully how to apply. Because you see, even in the LinkedIn, there is like some trick that you can find the easy apply button. So many cases, you just apply, just click this button to apply. But apparently, there are some job positions that specifically guide you. If you're excited about this position and wanted to join, please send your resume and cover letter to this email address. So you got to read really carefully before you hit the easy apply button. Yeah. So that was the end of my webinar, and feel free to open up your mic if you can and share me any questions.
Hi, thanks Dasol for sharing. So yeah, everyone, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Just you can write your questions in the chat box, or if you want to talk with Dasol directly, let me know. I think you can just raise your hand, and then I can open the mic for you so you can talk in this meeting. Anyway, this is something that I'm actually very curious of, especially when I first applied for the job a few years ago. It's mainly about the language itself, like how important it is to be able to speak Chinese when you're finding a job in China. Because for my case, I don't really speak Chinese. I think I'm about HSK 3 level up to HSK 4. It's getting better now. But when I was applying for a job a few years back, it was way worse than this. I barely couldn't communicate in Chinese. So what are your thoughts about this?
Well, this is actually a really good question. So I also had this question. Well, every time I was interviewing other recruiters, I also asked the same question. But every single people, and this is also same with my thought, that Chinese is not a must. Definitely, Chinese is not a must. There are reasons why companies are looking for foreign talents. So they don't, like, there are companies that is not necessarily need to speak Chinese. But here's important thing. But if you're applying for a job in China, at least to put some effort to prepare Chinese introduction. 30 seconds, it doesn't matter. At least they put some effort to prepare Chinese introduction. So even though the Chinese are not required, the recruiters would really feel appreciated. Oh, this person is really, prepared, you know?
Nice. Oh, I think we found a question from students. So this is from Lulu. Thank you for sharing your insights. I wanted to ask if you have any requests for us to prepare before coaching.
Oh, you mean like before I coach you. So usually I ask people to always share me the resume or LinkedIn profile if they have, because that's basically before the call, we get to understand. I'm not trying to judge you or something, but trying to understand your background. So yeah. And then also when I'm sharing, if you leave the review, and I'll be sharing you a form. So you just need to fill out the form so that I would prepare my own coaching session based on the answers that you bring out the phone. Then I will send you the Zoom link. Yeah, thank you.
Right, there's one more question. How to deal with the constant feedback of not being selected for being considered overqualified?
Wow, considered to be overqualified. That's interesting. That's interesting. So why, Gabriel, why do you think you've been getting that consistent same feedback that is overqualified? Is it because you're literally applying for the job that is below of your standard? Wait, I want to know more. Yeah. But the recruiting procedure, yeah, you can open up can attendees open up their mic and answer?
Yeah, I just give the permission, so we should be able to do it.
Yeah. Hey, Gabriel, would you like to share more? Well, we can talk like privately if it is a bit
Can you
difficult for
hear
you
me?
to. Yes, I can hear you, Gabriel.
Yes, because in my case, my situation is quite similar to yours because I've been looking for a job for a very long time because I had a job or I was looking for other jobs as well. And the difference is that I got no job before coming to China. So I have experience before, and I used to work as a director in a very small company, but I was looking for work as a manager because I wanted to change my career path.
And then did the
So I was
recruiters
constantly,
did they
yeah,
specifically
I
said
think I
that you're
received like
over?
five times the feedback of being overqualified, so they could not hire me, and it's quite frustrating because it's not about the position itself; it's about the thing you want to do, and people do not let you do because they see that you've been a director. Actually, the only time I got a job was because I decided to pretend I did not have that qualification. I don't know whether it was a coincidence, but it happened.
I see, I understand. Well, it would have been great next time if you get a feedback, then have a conversation with the recruiter exactly. What exactly specific field that you consider to be overqualified. And then as you just told me, that you tell the recruiter that it's not about a job position, you really want to have some career transition and you want to try this out. Yeah, having a really person-to-person conversation. Sometimes what they say, what the recruiters say and what actually is some different, you know. We also have some kind of a tone and manner as recruiters, how we deliver the information. So having a deep conversation, yeah, get on a coffee chat. You don't even have to get on a coffee chat with the same recruiter he give you the same qualification, but yeah, find some other recruiters or even get on a coffee chat with me and then we can talk about it. I hope that answered you. And I just wanted to add here, no matter what kind of feedback you get, it definitely the hiring procedure takes long, and finding a job is a very exhausting process. It will never get easy, to be honest. It will never get easy. That's why the reason why I'm trying to stand here to support people to get clarity and courage to navigate throughout their career transition is because I know it is a very difficult road that you need some, you know, like cheerleader. I just wanted to really become a cheerleader who just consistently encourage you to finish the line, never give up, and don't just pick a fruit that is just down there, even though it's less than you, because it's just right there and you're emotionally driven. So that's why I'm here trying to, as a third perspective, give you the really clear idea where you're gonna head to. And then every step just telling you, it's okay, this is normal. What you're feeling is totally normal.
Thanks, Dasol, for the answer. Yeah, I think the key is to never give up, right? And just keep trying and trying. So we found another question again from the student. Hi, how can I find a job in emergency service or improve by participation in relevant course? I think this is maybe related to the job searching portal.
Oh, how do I find a job? Emergency service. Okay, so improve by participation in relevant course. I'm not quite clear about what do you mean about emergency service. It's like you want to, what kind of industry are you referring, Tariq? And then are you referring to the job that is in China, like find a job in China or outside of China? I think I need some more detail. Yeah. We can wait on you, Tariq, to give us some more detail, and then we can move on to the next question. Wow.
I think we can move on to the next question. Then let's wait for Tariq's reply. So the next question is, which is an interesting one. So after completing a bachelor's degree in China, how can I start my own business in China as international? I think you have a great experience in this. So what are your insights in this?
So I'm not sure. Hey, Ramesh, thank you for the question again. So do you have more than 2 years of working experience? I think there's some noise, background noise. I'm not sure. Okay. So So it's like this, as a foreigner, if you register a company in China, how it works is that right now I'm employee of my own firm. So as an employee, I still need to apply for the work permit. And I am my boss who's hiring me as foreigner as a foreign employee for my company in China. So I still need to meet the requirement of 2 years working experience and more than bachelor's degree requirements. So if Ramesh, if you meet the requirement for the visa, work permit, bachelor's degree, and 2 years of working experience, definitely you can register your company in China. There are many agencies in all different cities, and many different cities has different policies. The reason why I registered a company in Haining is because it was more open towards the foreigners establishing the business. They have more open policies. In case of Shanghai, they're a little bit more strict because there are already a lot of startups going on there. So they require the kind of funds, like a good number of funds that you already need in your bank account and like that. So it really depends on the cities, but every city has the agency. So I recommend you start with the agency first before you try to do something by yourself. It really, even though you gotta pay some agency fee, it really helps you to not having any headaches. Yeah. Hope it answered.
Sure. Yeah, I think I agree with that definitely, because the agency, they will have the local expertise, right? And you will deal with a lot of bureaucracy and like policies and everything.
Yes. So I also hired my own agency for the first procedure, but after then I also need to renew my company information, renew my work permit, right? For that case, I do myself because I already know what's the procedure look like.
Nice. So let's wait. Is there any more questions? Oh, I saw Tariq here.
Oh, hi, Tariq.
Hi, Tariq. I think you can unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Yep, I can hear you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I'm serving in the emergency services in Pakistan. Also qualified HSK 2 level in Mandarin. How can I get a job or modern courses over there?
You mean you want to look for the jobs in an emergency services in China? Is that correct?
Yes, and also eager to equip myself with modern courses over China.
Modern courses. What does that mean of modern courses? Like you mean the university courses?
Related to emergency services.
Oh, well, to be honest, I'm really new to this emergency services area. That's not my expertise. But if you can look back into the kind of tactics that how you can search the jobs using the Chinese platforms, including the LinkedIn as well, you can apply the same thing to whatever job positions I see. But it's difficult for me to recommend you some courses for you to develop in terms of the emergency service industry.
Thank you for the guidance, ma'am. Can you tell me about the website to check the courses over there?
Sure. I will leave the I'll leave the information in the chat. Let me show you here. Yeah, you can screenshot this.
Okay, thank you,
No
ma'am.
worries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we have 2 more questions here. One is from Shanice. So she's from Kenya and just graduated from high school and currently pursuing a certificate in software engineering. So would you advise me to apply for a scholarship to pursue my studies in China, or is it actually possible to go to China for an internship attachment?
Okay. Can you mute the Tariq, Nadia? Thank you. Hi, Shanice. Thank you for your question. So I don't have a deep understanding about your current background. Like, oh, you just graduated high school. Okay. So if you just graduated in a high school, I think I would advise for you to start applying for the scholarship to pursue your bachelor's or bachelor's in China, because definitely software engineering is where a lot of universities definitely have majors opening up, and also having a lot of foreign talents wanting to come and study software engineering. Especially they issue a lot of scholarships, so you'll definitely get a chance if you write a really good letters and like that, because as you, without any bachelor's degree or without any work experience, it's realistically, it's not possible to get a job in China.
Okay, thanks. That's also next question from Gabriel. This is a follow-up question. How can we balance the customization of cover letters and the need to apply as much as possible?
That's really a good question. Before the Gabriel, but I just wanted to add one more comment to the Shanice that, by the way, if you really want to apply for the scholarship in China, you have a China admissions team here. They are offering a great service to find you a perfect university and to help you to get a scholarship. So connect with Nadia. She'll be really happy to help you.
Sure, definitely. Thanks, Dasol.
And hey, Gabriel, so that's a really good question. So how did I manage is that, first, based on the kind of job positions, for example, if I realized that using your core strength, you did a job search, but if you begin to apply for several jobs, you'll notice that there are some common jobs that you're constantly applying, for example, business development or marketing or sales and like that. So I have kind of a big picture, like three or four different types of framework of the cover letters, because as a business development there are different stories that you will emphasize, or as a sales there are different stories that you would emphasize in the cover letter. So you first prepare that, and then you just empty the company name and then job position. So hi, this is Dasol Kim applying for XXX company for XXX job position, and then you constantly like just put the company name and company position there based on which kind of job position you're applying. So in that case, you're not literally customizing every single cover. I'm not telling you need to customize every single cover letter, but you definitely have some kind of format for each industry or job positions that you're applying for. Yeah, that's the thing. And also, please, the most important thing is you gotta at least change the job position and company, right? There are some cases that candidates mistype or forget to change. So sending a cover letters using a different company's name, which is really unattractive. So just really make sure to put a right company name and right job position name.
Nice, thanks, Dasol. So I think let's have two more final questions before we end today's event. So is there any more from the students? There's one more from Tariq. My age is 44. Can I get admissions there? Oh, this is for studying. So for studying in China type of questions, I think you can email to China admissions after this event, and then we can assist you with that. So next question from Tawanda Elton. I'm currently a final year student here in China on a student visa. It wouldn't be a problem for someone like me who is a student to appear on work search applications like BOSS, because sometimes ago I had some cases of people getting trouble. If so, how can we counter these problems? I think the question was more about, is it okay for students to find a job in China while they are where they are still studying or like about to graduate? Like what's probably the proper time for students to find a job in China?
Of course. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure whether the cases that you're mentioning and what kind of cases it is, but definitely it won't matter. Because in the end, okay, you said like when you're looking for a job, I'm a final year student in a university, then definitely the company is already aware that they should wait for you to graduate because from student visa to change from student visa to work permit, you first need to graduate and you first need to leave China to get a work permit. Right? So this is just a procedure. So even though you are appearing in some platform to be a job seeker, it doesn't matter, because technically if you are still a student, you won't be the companies won't be able to hire you. So yeah, the best timing is, if Nadia, to continue answering the Nadia's question, the best timing is maybe the final year, because usually company can give you like, can wait for you to graduate.
Okay. Oh, the next question is for China Admissions. Is there a WhatsApp platform? Well, we do have an official WhatsApp number. I think you can email us to check, or we can just send it with you in our social medias on our website later. So I think one final question from me, if there's no more questions from our audience, is that how important do you think to find a job related to the educational background, for example? Because I know in some cases, maybe they have an interest in a completely different field than what they studied before. But for some companies, if you're not studying, if your previous education background is not really related to what you're applying, then it might come out as an instant no. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm always telling you, every single thing that happens in your life, you should make it as a story. That's the power of storytelling and branding. It really, how you tell the story really differentiate. Like, for example, let's say, Nadia, as you said, you studied something, but later you found your passion on this field. So you really want to pursue this field. If you tell the story that what kind of personal effort you make, like, oh, even though my degree wasn't here, I attended this kind of online courses, or I talked to this kind of the professionals in these fields, or I have mentor in this field, and I'm constantly developing my knowledge on this field. If you can powerfully deliver that message to the recruiters, that's really persuadable, right? And then, but you just gotta be careful about certain job positions, because certain technical, like the certain job positions that require some technical knowledge, background knowledge, they require specific background, like biology background from pharmacy farms. That's no-brainer, right? That's definitely, of course, you need to have some background understandings on the biology. So other than that, let's say you have your background has nothing to do with marketing. So you can't be a marketing? No. Sometimes, even when I was recruiting the consultants for McKinsey, we sometimes want the candidates from very diverse different backgrounds, like even the biotech as a consultant, tech background as a consultant, or who did a PhD in their psychology to be a consultant, like really. So study, I think the bachelor's degree, all it shows is that you really meet the basic requirements, just the degree itself, but the later on, how you personally develop is all on you. Yeah.
That's true. Thank you so much, Dasol, for your insights.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we can close this event. So if there's any final words or insights that you'd like to share with the audience.
Well, I'm really glad to get a lot of questions. I can see many people are really looking into some job opportunities here. I'm glad to be here, and I hope that my presentation was delivering enough value to you. And I would love to organize any further workshops with the China Admissions for the later future. So if you really want to get to know more in depth, please let us know. Give us a feedback. It will be really helpful for us.
Sure, definitely. Yeah, thank you so much, Dasol, for being here. And for our audience, if you are interested in building your career in China, you can always contact Dasol and her company to help you with the coaching and also workshops for your future career plan in China. So thank you all for joining today's event. I hope it's useful for everybody, and stay connected with everyone, especially with China Admissions for studying in China, and also with Dasol for finding a job in China. So that's all. Thank you so much for this event. Bye. Have a nice day, all.
You too. Bye. Thank you, Nadia.
Bye.
Bye.